mystery box arrive at the door from the wonderful people at Electric Factory here in Australia. Shout out to Matt and the whole team there. Matt emailed me about a week ago saying, hey, do you want to try out a guitar? We're not going to tell you what it is. We will just ship it to you, have a play with it, unbox it, and make a video if you feel like it. So let's go open the box and see what they've sent. Shall we? Let's take a look. Let's get the knife and fork out, mate. Something delicious. I see the box was a hit, buddy. All right, the gig bag makes me happy. I love these SE gig bags. They're probably the most useful ones out there at the moment. I don't know what's in here though, so where's the zip? Can you give me a hand, mate? There we go. All right, I haven't looked yet. Weight is very good. Not too light. All right. I'm seeing some blonde headstock in here. NF53. Oh, wow. Check this out, buddy. Have a look at that. I love that kind of grain-filled white brass saddles. This is very nice. Very, very nice. Three-way. Is there a push-pull or anything? There's no push-pull. Very, very nice on the old birds. Check that out. As a quick overview, the narrow field pickups and the bridge make this pretty unique on here. Three-way, master volume and tone. The neck feels really nice and chunky. I like the satin finish. It actually reminds me a lot of the finish on my 2016 CE that I've got. The tuners have the new winged PRS design, which feel really good. There's a lot of area to actually grip on here, which I definitely appreciate. There's the typical SE style scarf joint on there. The birds, again, you either love the birds or you haven't come to love the birds on here. The frets are not that tall, but they're nice and wide on there, and the fret ends are pretty meticulous on here. I really like that. There is a little tummy contour on the back here, but I feel like the PRS headstock and this style of body actually suit one another really well. So let's start out on the neck pickup with a clean sound. I'm just going to strum some chords and we'll go over to some sort of more of a chimey sound, a crunch, and then some fill.
Okay, that middle position on here is magic for the lower gain tones on there. It actually sounds really good with the higher gain stuff as well, but I love the idea of just being able to set up your tone on that middle position there, and then if you want something a bit thicker, flick over to the neck alone. If you want something a bit more cutting, flick over to the bridge on there. The guitar is really loud and resonant unplugged as well, which was kind of my first thing when I pulled it out. It just immediately already sounds impressive and balanced. The weight is really nice on here. The neck is definitely on the thicker and meatier side, which I definitely appreciate. It is really easy, I think, for guitars at this price point to skimp on that and just give you a really thin neck. And while it can be impressive if you pick it up in a guitar store or something and be like, wow, look at how nice this plays. For someone like me with bigger hands, my hands can sometimes cramp on there, I've found. Just having something really nice to wrap your fingers around, especially if you're going to be using this as like a workhorse rhythm guitar or a guitar in a cover band or something where, let's face it, you're not going to be playing the whole night that far above the 5th fret on there. But when you do get up around the 12th fret, it's really easy to bend on there. The board feels pretty flat on here. It's really, really fun. I dig it. I'm going to add a little bit more delay, and I have to play this riff. This is the ultimate test for me. Having had a few more days to play this here in the studio and also having the chance to take this out and gig it, this is a no-nonsense player's guitar. I think the SE series really has moved on from being an affordable or a budget brand to being a musician's line, where the price point compared to their core offerings, compared to some other offerings from other manufacturers, is still pretty competitive, even though the prices on the SEs are still going to surprise some people. I think if you think of the SE series as a beginner's guitar or a budget guitar, something like this is not priced like that anymore. It is built really well. One thing I would like to see going forward with PRS, and I think this would be a massive value add that so many of you probably agree with, Other manufacturers, especially coming out of Indonesia, are able to provide guitars at this price point or lower that have features like locking tuners and stainless steel frets. And for me, it's a real bugbear that PRS don't offer a stainless steel option on their guitars like this, because this is clearly designed to be taken out and played a lot, and the extra advantage and the longevity that you might get out of something like stainless steel, the extra convenience of having locking tuners on there, is something I'd be willing to pay a little bit extra for on that ticket price, not having to go and get that modified down the line at some point. I know the SE series, in a similar way to something like the Player series by Fender, is priced really aggressively compared to their USA models. And the idea is like, you get this, you play it, and you mod it. I think it is fantastic in that regard, but I would still like to see them offer a couple more of those modern conveniences in there. Hopefully more of us make this same complaint. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this guitar. I just feel like it could be that extra little bit more awesome at this price point with some of those features on there. But having said that, I mean, the tones are fantastic. The playability out of the box is fantastic. And I really appreciate just the raw, no-nonsense attitude that this particular guitar has. And I think the standard PRS headstock on a Tele-inspired body is a really good match. PRS are clearly trying some new stuff as well, which I like. If you've seen the new Herman Lee guitar, that's going to be very divisive. While that really isn't to my taste, something like this is a lot more to my taste. So I'll flick a link to this one in the video description. A big thank you to Matt and the team at Electric Factory here in Australia for letting me borrow this guitar and make a bunch of noise on it. For now, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions in the comments section below. And if you like what I'm doing here on the channel, you can check the video description for a link to my Patreon or some of the music that I make with my band Ragdoll. See you on the next one.